So, what if I told you that the way most of us think about getting wealthy, that one lucky break, that single winning lottery ticket of an idea, is just completely wrong? We picture this finish line we have to cross, but the real journey, it looks nothing like a race. And that's the core idea right here. Wealth isn't some moment you just arrive at. It's a system you build, piece by piece. It's not about some huge windfall. It's about a deliberate, repeatable process. And trust me, getting that one idea in your head changes absolutely everything. And today, we're going to talk about something I call the invisible line. It's what separates the people who are controlled by their money from those who control it. And the craziest part? Millions of people spend their entire lives just inches away from this line, and they never even realize they have the power to step right over it. So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to define the invisible line. Then we'll look at the trap so many of us fall into, the upgraded cage. From there, we'll get practical and talk about building your engine, how to spot the signs of a wealthy mindset, and finally, wrap it all up with a snowball of wealth. Okay, so what is this invisible line? Well, think of it like this. On one side, your life is basically dictated by money. Your stress, your job choices, even how you spend your time, it's all on money's terms. But on the other side of that line, you're the one in charge. You tell your money what to do, not the other way around. And here's what's so wild about this. People get so close. They have a good income, they've got all the potential in the world, but they're stuck in a system that just keeps them on the wrong side of that line. And they have no idea why. Which leads us directly to this trap called the upgraded cage. This is the number one reason why people with great incomes never actually feel free. It's this powerful illusion of progress, when in reality, you're just running on a fancier hamster wheel. Let's just break this down. On the surface, it looks like you're winning, right? You get the bigger house, the faster car, the shiny watch, but what's really going on under the hood? It's bigger payments, it's higher stress, the cage just got a little nicer, maybe some gold plating, but guess what? It's still a cage. You're just as trapped, but now you have more expensive bars. And this just nails a core truth. The things you have to do to look rich, like buying stuff that loses value, are usually the very things that stop you from being rich. See, real wealth is quiet. It's often what you don't see. So how do you break out? How do you actually cross that line? You have to shift your entire focus from the fuel to the engine. See, most people make this huge mistake. They think their job is their financial engine. It's not. Your job, that's just the fuel. The engine is something else entirely. So what is this engine? It's your system of assets. And the definition of an asset is actually super simple. It's anything that puts money in your pocket without you constantly trading your time for it. We're talking stocks, a rental property, a business you don't have to run day to day, or even a digital product that sells while you're sleeping. And that's exactly why this quote from Warren Buffett is just so perfect. It's the entire game in one sentence. Your job gives you the fuel, the cash to build, but it's your assets, your engine, that will eventually carry you forward without you having to constantly be there pushing. But building that engine, it takes a massive mindset shift, because long before your bank account starts to look different, your thinking has to change first. So let's talk about the quiet, subtle signs that show you're on the right track, even if your net worth doesn't reflect it just yet. Okay, there are three huge ones. First, you start thinking in decades, not just paychecks. Second, you develop an almost physical allergy to bad debt, the kind you use for consumption. And third, you learn how to say no to things that don't serve your bigger goals, and you feel zero guilt about it. All right, let's zoom in on that first sign, thinking in decades. Let's take a super common expense, right? A $300 a month car payment. To most people, this seems completely normal, totally manageable. But someone with a wealthy mindset, they see something totally different. They see the hidden cost, what economists call the opportunity cost. That same $300 a month, if you invested it instead, could grow over 20 years into roughly $230,000. That car payment isn't just $300. It's $250,000 decision. They don't just see the sticker price, they see the true cost. That is the shift. And that way of thinking leads right to the third sign. When you turn down an expensive night out or a vacation you can't really afford, it's not about depriving yourself. It's about prioritizing. You understand deep down that every yes to something that doesn't really matter is a no to your future freedom. Saying no becomes an act of self-respect. Okay, so this brings us to our final, and maybe the most important piece of this whole puzzle. And it's the realization that building real, lasting wealth is well, it's kind of boring. And that's not just okay, it's brilliant. I want you to picture a tiny snowball at the top of a really, really long hill. When you first start, it's nothing. You're pushing it along, and it feels like you're putting in a ton of effort for almost no result at all. For a long, long time, any progress you make is basically invisible. Your investment account barely moves, your savings don't look that different, there's no big pat on the back, no dramatic moment of victory. It's just quiet. And right here, this is the danger zone. This is where most people quit. They mistake the silence for failure. They were expecting fireworks, but all they're getting is quiet consistency. So they stop pushing the snowball and go looking for something more exciting. But here's the secret. That silence isn't failure. It's incubation. It's that necessary quiet period of consistent effort before momentum kicks in. Because eventually, that little snowball gets big enough to start rolling all by itself, picking up more snow, more speed, more power. That's compounding. And this, for me, is the most empowering part of all of this. Building wealth isn't some secret personality type you have to be born with. It's not a talent, it's a skill. It's just a collection of beliefs, systems, and behaviors that absolutely anyone can learn and apply. So let's end on this thought. Let's stop thinking about wealth as a destination, some number you have to hit. It's not a moment, it's a direction. And the only question that really matters is, which way are you pointing?